everybody. We are back. We are back. Jets fans, come on, you know it. You feel it. You feel it. I feel it. Hello, everybody. Well, here we are again. I am Green Bean. This is episode 97 of GreenBean's Jets Pod, and I am glad that you are here with me. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah to everyone as well, as we slide into the new year where everything changes, a big old-fashioned reset. We'll talk about New Year's resolutions maybe next week. We'll see how we're doing. I don't want to tell you what my New Year's resolutions are. You want to know why I don't want to tell you? Guess. Because I'm not going to do them. That's why. That's why. That's why I don't tell anybody anymore. But we'll talk about it. Guys, it's an interesting week for us. It really is. You want to talk about emotions, right? And what it is to be a Jets fan. Not every team deals with this. No, every team will have their moments dealing with this sort of stuff, right? Stress, pain. But lots of teams, they just, they win 9 games, 10 games, and they think they have stress. Like, for example, I have some very good friends of mine who are Eagles fans. Now, I'll never minimize Eagles fans' pain or anything like that, but they're not on the same level as us. They act like they do, but they don't, right? They don't have the same experience as we have. They've been bad for years and everything, but they're, nobody's going to say, like the Eagles and Jets. Nobody says that, unless you're talking about the color green. But the Eagles were playing the Dallas Cowboys this weekend on what was that, Christmas Eve, I think. And I'm watching the game with an Eagles fan. Now, the one Eagles fan, he didn't even leave the house because he's just, if he leaves the house, it messes with the chi, you know what I mean? So he stayed home. But his wife was over my house, and she's an Eagles fan, and the son, and he's an Eagles fan, and watching the game. And it's, they're playing for, the number 1 seed in the NFC, which, of course, only one team gets that now. I mean, as far, obviously every year only one team gets it, but as far as the bye and all that stuff, I think that's really good. It increases the value of it. I like that change. But you can see, they're playing. If they lose, it doesn't mean that they're already in the playoffs. They're there. You know what I mean? You don't have to worry about it. They're stressing over the good stuff. It's like, do I want béarnaise or a horseradish dressing on my filet? You know what I mean? You already got the filet's coming. I ordered the horseradish and I got the béarnaise. That's, you know what I'm saying? You see it. You see the difference. But the Jets know how to find a way to make it as stressful and painful as possible. Most of the games that we won this year, I think we had 1 or 2. The Chicago game was one where we knew we after the first quarter or so, we knew we won that game handily. Other than that, nothing comes to mind. Maybe there was one other, but even if that's the case, most of the games that we win are fourth quarter comebacks or, winning by 1 score in the fourth quarter. That's the way that the season has been for us. And going into the bye at 6-3, all we needed really was 3 or 4 wins on the second half of the season. And we thought, and look, believe me, I had conversations with so many Jets fans out there. And we knew, it should happen. This should be easy. This should not be too much to ask. But you can see it when we're talking. We're like, but we know inside, we can blow this, dude. We have 8 games and we got to win 3, 4. We'd like to win 5. We were talking about the division, the whole thing. But we knew. It's like, can we just do the 3-win thing, please? And we have not been able to do that. We lost 4 or 5 of 6. 4 of 5. I'm losing track over here. While the first couple losses, outside of the Patriots loss week 1, that was garbage. But then the Vikings and the Bills, dude, they were losses that, again, no, not moral victories, but you can see that the team is close. You can see it. Our team is fighting, kicking, clawing. We lost by a score. We dropped the touchdown pass. Stuff like that. We were there. We were there. And even in the Detroit game, same kind of thing. But then we go into this Jaguars game, and all we got to do is beat a team. Yes, they're surging, but they're the Jaguars, dude. Our defense should be able to shut them down, and our offense just has to score a couple touchdowns. That's it. That's it. And you know damn well that if the offense could have just done that, had a couple drives, the defense, who was having a bad game and still held them to 19 points with zero help from the offense, that was a bad game for our defense. Nobody's going to say anything otherwise. And still, we're not talking about 35, 44 points. It's about 19. So if the offense could have just done a few things, some extended drive, gave me 8 minutes, maybe keep them off the damn field, we could have very easily won that game with a couple of touchdowns. It's very realistic. But we couldn't do that. And it's like, here we go, while we're like playing where we controlled our destiny in large part. And now it's like we just, and we come out lifeless. It's like we're dead. It's like we're dead. And Jets fans, we've seen this before. We've lived it. The big one that comes to mind for me is the fake spike year with Pete Carroll. Do you guys remember that? I talk about it all the time because it had a major impact on my young life. I don't remember how old I was, 19, 20, something like that, right? 18. And we were in the stands. We were playing the Miami Dolphins for first place. I think we were 6-4. We had a 24-6 lead in the fourth quarter. And we looked like we had them. It looked like they were not able to get anything done. We were kicking their ass, and it was handily done. No problem. We're the better team. Dan Marino, suck it, go home, and the whole thing. We're dancing. I shit you not. Well, I say that because I'm not a dancer. I'm not. I rarely am inspired to get up and I'm rarely inspired to do. Just don't do that. I'll do this. That's my dance. You know? But I recall standing up in the stands in my section 311 season ticket seats. Row 23, I think it was, in 311. And we were high-fiving dudes, laughing, having a great time. It was a sunny day. And then they come back and we lose our rookie, just amazing rookie cornerback, Aaron Glenn, gets toasted by a fake spike. A fake spike. We never seen it before. I shit you not. We were in the stands yelling, that's illegal. What are you... Like, we didn't even, there wasn't a boo, it was like this weird sound in the stadium. That's what it sounded like. I was like, what the fuck is that? What? That's what it felt. And we lost that game. It was a legal play. You don't have to spike it just because the defense thinks you are. You got to play in football. Snap the ball. It's a play. Touchdown, Ingram over Aaron Glenn. And we lost every game that year after that fake spike. We were playing for first place. We were winning the game. Had a young coach, Pete Carroll. We lost every game the rest of the year. Then fired Pete Carroll, hired Rich Kotite, and won 4 games the next 2 years. So from that game, yeah, man, we're the best, to 4 wins in 2.5 years. This kind of feels like that. It does. Now, is it the same? No, it's not the same. There's a completely different scenario, but it feels the same. And we've been through this so many times. So we basically, after the Jaguars game, guys, we said that this is a wrap. This is done. And it's not just like numerically. Of course we're done. We just lost to the Lions and the Jaguars. Like, dude, these were the games we needed to take. They get harder after this. And if we can't win these, you know. But in addition to that, it was just like, dude, I mean, our Mike White's ribs are broken. Zach Wilson is completely toast. And Streveler, I'm glad you Streveler nutheads got to see it. He's exciting. He gave there's one play. I'll just tell you one play, and you see the whole thing. Uzomah just wide open down the seam. Hey, holy shit! And he sees him. He plants his feet, and Uzomah has to slam on the brakes and come back to the ball, diving. It was such a bad pass. If he just sailed it over his head, it just would have been a touchdown, easy. Now, it's his first game, lots of nerves, all kinds, who knows? But really, you see it. Like Straveler, fun packages, maybe. He's not the guy either. So what the hell do we need? You know it's not Flacco. If you bring Flacco in there, it's like, maybe. So it's not just the numbers, it just feels like hopeless. And meanwhile, we have more. Finally, they're acknowledging our players going to the Pro Bowl. We're looking like we're the front runners for offensive and defensive rookie of the year. We have other rookies and young players playing. There's so much to feel good about. Yet the rug was pulled out, and you just feel dejected and soulless. And this is what the Jets do. And we may even pull a 2009 where, remember, Rex went on the podium and said, well, obviously we're out of the playoffs. And there was like just a slivered, tiny 1% chance that they could, and it wasn't over. But Rex, he was like, dude, this is obviously it's over. And we made the playoffs. A crazy bunch of scenarios happened, and we made it. So this could happen again. And we'll talk about the specifics of that, but that's where we are. And it's an interesting week. It's a very interesting week. Tuck in there, Christmas Eve. We got Hanukkah being celebrated. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I'm in Virginia. It was literally negative 11 degrees. You got that. Freezing. It's freezing out here, man. So, there's so much going on. You had the fans in the stand. They were raining. We have fans DMing parents, waiting outside the stadium for the GM. Like, there's all kinds of stuff. It's an interesting week. But then Christmas comes. And everything we needed to happen happened. For 2 weeks in a row, by the way. 2 weeks in a row, in large part, everything that we needed to happen happened. Now, it sucks because if we would have won either one of the last two games, it would have just catapulted us like way into controlling our own destiny. Even with maybe a little bit of, we would have beat Detroit and the Jaguars. We have what's called breathing room right now. And we don't. But underneath it all, we're alive. We're alive. Now, we need a quarterback. So I don't know how, you could technically be alive and laying on the ground. Not much going on. You're alive. It's great. Got a shot, but not looking too good. So we don't know what that looks like. But man, oh man, there's a few things we can dive into here and see what we think. Now, it's funny. I was asked about when I'm going to start the mocks. Like right after the game, we'd do the live streams for the game. We had a great night. There was fucking 1,000 of you in it. Really great time. No. It was a really bad time, actually. But we were together, and I place value upon that. It was a very difficult stream, actually. But I was asked during that stream, when you start in the Monday night 10 o'clock mocks, right? We do that every year. Usually we're already knee deep in the mocks by now. But I haven't started it yet. Why? Because we're alive. We're still in the season, man. We asked for meaningful games in December. Dude, it is the end of this. We're going into January, and the New York Jets are playing meaningful games. We asked for this. We got it. Now, it sucks that we're losing all these meaningful games. That's not what we asked for, man. It doesn't matter. We won enough to be here, so we're here. But I was asked that question. And I said, I'm not doing it. I can't give up. Even though I'm with you, man. I feel it. I see it. Everything, I'm right there with you. I can't give up. And I'm not willing to just start ripping up papers. I'm not there. I refuse to get there. I refuse to deconstruct everything that I've built up for this season, all my hopes and pride and belief because of where we are. The season's not over. We're still alive. And even though it's grim, you just don't know. We've done it before. Shit, we've done it this very season with the fourth quarter kind of stuff where we were done and we were out. Dude, the best example is Cleveland. When the coach brought his kids out, they were on the sideline. Come on out, hang out with me. They were posting all kinds of graphics. The Cleveland Browns never won this game. Whatever, all they were doing. The whole NFL world, there was all these tweets. Rich Cimini had his offensive fourth quarter stats ready. He starts tweeting it all out. And guess what? The game wasn't over and the Jets won. So we see it. I just can't get there. I had comments this week that were yelling at me for not being mad enough. I had 5, 6 comments that were upset with my level of being upset. I tell you, can't make it up, man. Can't make it up. I wasn't mad enough for them. Okay, sorry. But I don't want to fucking be mad. Look, I'm upset enough. I'm sad enough, man. I'm crushed. I don't want to add to that, like breaking I don't want to. I'm done with that. I turned 50 this last week. It's another friggin' thing. I don't want to be a 50-year-old, 15-year-old. You know what I mean? I don't want to. So it's an interesting week, man, but we're alive. So let's get into this podcast that we got here. Number one, if you got a second, I want to tell you something. We got a goal. 10,000 subscribers by December 31st, 2022. It's my 2-year anniversary on YouTube, at least with this channel. We are 204 subs away from 10,000. We're there, dude. When I'm recording this, it's December 26th, the day after Christmas. So we got 5 days to get 204 subs. Can we do it? Can we do it? If you haven't subscribed, now is the time. Again, I want to point out some giveaways we're having for people that are subscribed to the channel. It's not only the new folks, but the new folks are in it. Just like the first subscribers, we gave away 2 hoodies already, gave away a t-shirt, and we're giving away our sponsor, Manscaped's amazing Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer, guys. We're giving this is the one too. See, never been opened, the whole thing. We're giving this one away in the next couple of days. On Thursday, we're giving this away and the Lawnmower 4.0, which is the absolute best men's grooming trimmer on the market, period. I love it. I've used many different trimmers over the years. Okay, I've always had one since I'm 20. All kinds of beards and goatees and stuff. Nothing touches the Lawnmower 4.0, and the greatest thing about it is it has the flashlight. When you're taking care of down there, the flashlight, it changes everything. If you haven't seen it, you'll know exactly what you're going to go, oh, look at that. Holy macaroni. I didn't even know what I was missing. You'll see. So we're giving these away. And if you didn't know, if you want to procure some of these fine products for your own, if you don't win the contest, all you have to do is go on manscaped.com, look through the site, pick anything you want. At the checkout, use promo code GreenBean, and you will save an additional 20% and add on free shipping. What's better than that? We're giving away this one to subs. We're giving away a Lawnmower 4.0 to subscribers. And you can save 20% by using the promo code GreenBean, our sponsor for the Jets Pod, Manscaped. So let's dig in here with our, it is episode 97. So I know we kind of dug in already a little bit deeper than usual. But it's number 97. So let's talk about another 97. It was It's interesting because this is kind of a polarizing guy to an extent. Polarizing in the fact that a lot of people didn't want him on the roster this year. But not polarizing because most people didn't want him. It wasn't too much of a divide. There was a couple people like, he's fine. You know, him or Tanzel Smart. I mean, you're splitting hairs maybe. But the Jets love him. His name is Nathan Shepard. Number 97, our 6'4", 315-pound defensive tackle out of Fort Hays State. This staff loves him. They love him. Robert Saleh has gone on record calling him the King of Strain. King of Strain! Remember that? I think what we're talking about here. King of Strain, meaning the guy's effort is unparalleled. He's the guy working the hardest in the whole joint. His production on the field wasn't necessarily what Jets fans wanted to see. Now, why is he so polarizing? In addition to just thinking we can do better at the position, right? Somebody that can legitimately stuff the run. He's the only guy on our defensive line where that's kind of his calling card. That's supposed to be his strength. He's not much of a pass rusher. He gets home a couple times each year, but that's not really what he's there to do. He's there to clog the gaps and hopefully impact the run game. But he doesn't do that very well a lot of the time. You see him get pushed around sometimes. So Jets fans, while he's not terrible, we could definitely improve here. And why we're just kind of assuming he's a part of the team, that's where our issue is. In addition to that, Nathan Shepard has a tag. He's wearing a tag, an ear tag with him. And that comes from him being where he was selected, when he was selected, why he was selected in the draft by one Mike Maccagnan in the 2018 draft. Okay? Nathan Shepard, with all due respect, joined a team he was never supposed to be on. Never. It was a terrible choice. And Jets fans are still holding that. Now, he's had his games. I think he's shed some of that. He's now his own guy, but he still holds that. Now, number one, he's one of, I think, two players on the whole friggin' team that Mike Maccagnan drafted. The other one is Quinnen Williams, so we got two defensive tackles. Now, Mike Maccagnan took a swing at defensive tackle more than any other friggin' position, so it was likely that if anyone's going to stick, it might be one of those guys from that group. But Nathan Shepard was the guy. The Jets traded 3 second-round picks to move up 3 spaces in the draft to number 3 to select Sam Darnold. Mike Maccagnan, as soon as he made the pick, the Jets were ecstatic that he slipped. That's the guy they wanted. He was actually our number 1 quarterback. We didn't think he'd be there, and he said, now the rest of the draft is about supporting that quarterback. That's what he said. We didn't have a second, so we sat idly by and watched the second round go past without getting a pick. Pick number 72 comes up, and we think wide receiver, offensive lineman. We had real troubles on the offensive line. We really didn't have any actual weapons to speak of. Really. There was plenty of talent still there. As you know, the third round is a sweet spot, man. It's really, a lot can be done in the third round. So when we heard the New York Jets with pick number 72 select defensive tackle Nathan Shepard, it was a problem. It was a difficult move to understand. In our opinion, collectively as Jets fans, it was hard to imagine how there could be a position that helps a quarterback less than run-stopping defensive tackle. But in addition to that, he's coming from a small school, Fort Hays State, and he was 25 so he was an older player on top of that. So he had all kinds of red flags, not to say that he wouldn't be good or anything, but it was like, what? And as you know, in that draft, we didn't get him an offensive lineman. We got him a tight end, Trevon Wesco, and we got him a running back in the 6th, I think it was, a Trenton Cannon. That's what we gave Sam Darnold. That's what we gave him. build around him. So Nathan Shepard has that going on as well. Again, different staff, the whole thing. I guess he's shed that in many ways, but a lot of Jets fans still hold that on him as well. So what has he done? Now, 2022, his stats look like this. He has 251 tackles, 251 tackles. Come on. He's got 25 tackles, 12 of which are solo. He's got 4 tackles for a loss, 1 1/2 sacks with 5 additional quarterback hits. Now, he's played 275 snaps all year up to this point. And that averages out to about 25 snaps per game, which is approximately 33%. And he's averaging about 4 tackles per game as well. Not terrible, not great. It's just kind of, hey, 6'4", 315 pounds, he's bound to get something. Now, he's had his plays, but I still think a lot of Jets fans believe that we could probably improve over Nathan Shepard. That said, he's a really good team guy. He was actually the guy, remember when Quinnen Williams was yelling at White Cotton, the defensive line coach's face? Nathan Shepard was the first guy up to kind of separate him. He's known as a good team guy. He's among the leaders, and obviously leading by example, being the king of strength. So he's on our team. He does a decent job, and the staff loves him. So there's a real good chance that he's here for a longer term because he's not all that expensive either. So he's just kind of one of those guys. Keep him on the team. Get him for, the lower end of the spectrum for the position, and he's a leader. So there you go. I don't know what to make of him moving forward. We'll see. It's in my opinion that one of the positions we should really be looking at in the draft is space-eating monster, man. 350 kind of a guy for that interior defensive line. We need a guy who clogs it. We need a Wilfork. We need a Ted Washington. We needed Kevin. Is it Kevin? Jenkins. Chris Jenkins. That's what we need. One of those guys. So even if Shepard stays, I'm of the belief that we need to improve the position nonetheless. But there he is, our player profile of the week, number 97 for episode 97, one Nathan Shepard. So guys, what does it look like? How are we feeling? We went into the Christmas holiday thinking this is going to be the nails in the coffin. And we watched the Patriots lose. We watched the Raiders lose. We watched the Miami Dolphins lose to the Packers. We watched even like the Tennessee Titans lost. Now on Monday night, maybe the Chargers will even lose. And this is all the stuff. But when it breaks down to it, when it all falls down, we don't really need the Chargers and the Titans and all those things. But they're still good. Really all we need is to win our last 2 games. Tall order, but if Mike White's playing, maybe. So the Patriots just need to lose one of their last 2 games. If they don't beat the Dolphins and Bills, which is a tall task, man, we're in. So we win both games, the Patriots lose 1, and we were in the playoffs. And the great thing about that is we'll be pushing the Patriots out. So we got this is a sweet little cookie that was handed to us. It's got macadamia nuts. It's got white chocolate, little milk chocolate, even some sprinkles. If you like icing, there's icing. It's like, oh my God, look, I didn't know I could still have this kind of cookie with this season. All we have to do is beat a team that we already beat and whose quarterback is struggling, and beat a team who has overperformed this season behind a former Jets quarterback, Geno Smith. But they're also kind of leveling off, and it's kind of hard to hold it up. Nobody expected them to even be as good as they are, and they are good, and they have the potential, but it's kind of falling apart a little bit. They're not quite as strong as maybe they looked 5 weeks ago. So all we have to do is beat them. Now, both games are away. That adds to it. It's going to be tough. But this team, this New York Jets team, has the opportunity to recognize that Santa Claus stopped by and said, hey, you've been good. You've been nice. I'm going to give this gift to you. Now, it's what you do with it. I can't control the outcome. But here it is. You now, outside of needing the Patriots to lose one game, outside of that, you control your destiny again. How? How? Thank you, Santa Claus. Who says this guy isn't real? So you have to look at this from a perspective of, this is why we don't jump off the ledge. This is why. Because the NFL is the NFL, and the games need to be played, and any given Sunday, and all the stuff, it's said all the time because it happens all the time. This stuff, these crazy scenarios, if you don't keep your head above water, just keep going. It's like when you see a defensive lineman, right? Like they rush the passer and he squeaks out and they give up. Oh, I guess he's gone. But then he has to cut back and he has to run and oh my God, and then they chase him, but now they can't catch him because they didn't keep playing. But if they just kept going, they would have had him. You see you see it all the time. It's one of the things that I look for when I'm actually looking at prospects. Karlaftis versus Jermaine Johnson, and on and on. What I look for are things like that. Is he the kind of player that stops when it looks like the guy's out of his reach? Does he stop, or does he play to the whistle, because you never know what's going to happen in the play? He could have to and cut back, and he does a crazy thing running. Nope, here I am. You're not running this way. Because I didn't stop, and now I'm in a position to make the play. I like those guys. That's one of the things that I actually look for. I look for wide receivers who don't just kind of half-ass it when it's unlikely to come to them, when it's a designed screen to the left. What are they doing if they're all the way on the right? Are they just kind of fucking hanging out, pulling a Randy Moss, a Robbie Anderson? Or are they making sure that their guy is out of the play? It's the only guy I can impact, but he's not making the play. First, I'm going to make him think that I'm running a route. Second, I'm going to block his ass off. I look for that in my wide receivers as well. Do they go down in the first hit? All that kind of stuff. These are the things that separate the really great players from the good guys, and the good guys from the turds. Why didn't the David Clowney do anything? He's had everything you want. He had the height, he had the speed, he had the hands, everything, but he just sucked. Those were the things that he didn't do. That's it. He practiced, he did all this stuff. We kept around for 4 years. Mike Westhoff said, cut this guy already. They couldn't cut him. He had too much. But that's the stuff. So the same type of mentality applies to the team. When you pack it up, and you start rolling up your socks and putting them in the bag, and then you realize the plane never left. Oh my God, I could have made it. You just keep going. You just keep going. Like it's not over till the fat lady sings. It ain't over till it's over. Till the whistle, till the final gun. You keep going. That's where we are. And that's why I don't like to get it's over. It's like the guys who in the first quarter we say, this game's over. Why? Because it's 3-0? What happened? Because it's 7-3? I don't get there. But the Jets now have to realize that this is the gift. This is the NFL, the universe, Santa Claus himself stopping by and saying, this is all we can give you. This is as far as we can push it. You have to be able to take it and get it over the finish line. But we're in position. Now we got to play the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Sad to say, it's one of the more difficult places to play. Why? Well, number one, the weather is, it's a stadium that has the open over the field. So the fans are somewhat protected, at least to some degree. But generally speaking, the top is left open. I'm not even sure if it can close. I think it might be able to. But they leave it open so the weather is a factor. Lots of rain, can be cold, the whole thing. So that's one thing. But as we know, their fan base is known as one of the more passionately loud fan bases. Now, they're not so passionate that they feel the urge to DM a player's mother and tell her she should have aborted her child because he didn't play to their standards. They don't not that passionate, of course, but they are known as one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. They're affectionately labeled the 12. Now, we're all the 12th man, but they're so good at it that they actually stole it and made it their identity, the 12. What about us? We're the 12th man. Nope, they're the 12th man because they do it so well. They've done it consistently, and they've been included in the success of that organization, which used to be shit, if you don't remember. Some of you younger fans, you just think Seattle's good. Dude, they were at times worse than the Jets, and for a long time. 25 years of just destitute, winless football. Every 3 years, a new coach, new quarterback. That was them. The idea that they're, just great organization, that's new. I mean, as far as relatively speaking. I mean, it's been 20 years, 25 years now, but it's just crazy. But the fans are part of that. So we're going into that atmosphere. They're playing. I believe they're in the playoff hunt as well. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look. Let's see. All right, so here we go. This is the current playoff picture. You can see here, so you got the Bills and the Eagles up top, Chiefs and Vikings. We should have, we could have beat both of these damn teams, and we should have, and did, in my opinion. But whatever. So you have the Bengals, 49ers, you got the Ravens, and the Cowboys here. They clinched the playoffs as well. Now here's the in the hunt teams, right? These are the teams that are kind of in a good position to get the playoff spot. Look at this. See that? First place in the AFC South with 7-8 record is the Jaguars. How the hell they'd pull that off? Well, they stomped right through MetLife. We could have put the brakes on that. They'd be 6-8, and their playoff hopes would be all but dashed, and we would literally be sitting right here at 8-7. Okay, that's where it would be. But you got the Bucks over here. You got the Giants. You got the Commanders. But look at this. On the bubble, we're on the outside looking in. But they're in essentially the exact same spot that we are. Look at this, guys. So the Seahawks are in the exact same position that we are. So look at these guys. The Buccaneers, 7-8. They're first in the NFC South. But look who's coming. Sam Darnold at 6-9. He's coming. There he is. He's coming for you, Tom Brady. I saw it's funny. We brought Sam Darnold in to be the guy that could beat Tom Brady. And we never got to see it. But it looks like he might be able to do that. He's got a chance. Little Sammy Sams. My desire for Tom Brady to fail and Todd Bowles and not even make the playoffs the first year that they're to get, that's super sweet. So I'm rooting for Sam, I think. Come on, Sammies. Anyway, guys, you got the Seahawks right here and the Jets. They're right in the same exact position. 7-8, 7-8. So we got to overtake these guys. They have to lose one. We got to jump them. And then we are in, man. We have to take care of business. So it's up to us. It's up to us, guys. We can do this. And again, I think it's appropriate to apply this as a lesson to us. You're on the negative side of things. Okay. You think it's over? Fair enough. You want to give up? Okay. And you may end up at the end of the year being proven right. At the beginning of the year, remember what we asked for. We asked for a competitive team that looks like they're on the rise. We'd like to win more games than we lost, but we said anywhere from 7 to 9 wins would be a successful season. And we wanted meaningful games. We were even saying in November, at the end of November, we'd like to see in the hunt with the Jets. We'd like to see that. But that's all we're asking for. We got it. We got meaningful games going into January. Okay? Meaningful games going into January. And we have another thing we wanted to see, we wanted to know what we had in Zach Wilson. Sadly, I think we got that too. This was a very, very constructive season as far as us building this team into what we hope it's going to be. Guys, we're in this thing. It might not happen, but we're in it. Being a grumpkin the whole time, a curmudgeon the whole time, just because at the end you're right, doesn't mean that you couldn't have had a good time throughout the whole process, man. You know, that's hard sometimes. Don't get me wrong. I was certainly not happy with the damn Jaguars game. That was abysmal, and it was, you know, terrible to see that being our showing with our playoff lives on the line. It was terrible. That said, we're in it. So trying to find a way to be hopeful, to believe until it's done, until it's over, I think has value. I think has value, man. And I think that if we could apply this and maybe become the fan base slowly but surely that isn't ready to throw somebody out after 10 games, that isn't ready to fire everybody after one season. Maybe we can learn to be a supportive fan base. That might be difficult. It might take a minute. But lessons like this, in the event this team makes the playoffs, I think we should learn something from it. With that all said, guys, I hope you have a great rest of the week. It's all about the playoffs, man. And I think that it's going to be fun to see if this team can come out and beat the damn, just beat the Seahawks. Holy shit. Win and we're in game in Miami, division rival, last game of the season. Could we have really asked for a more full season? I mean, shit, you could have asked for, hey, I'd just rather be in it. Yeah, me too, actually. But when you're talking about a team that's won 6 games in 2 years and has been abysmal for the outside of one season for the last 12, this is not a bad season, man. This is year 2 with our new regime, coach, GM, offensive coordinator, defensive. It's year 2 with these guys. We got obvious young talent. We have a clear vision, it looks like. If we just can get quarterback, I think we're on a serious course. I'm starting to root for this Minshew guy. I don't know what his contract is. I got to look. I'm thinking Gardner Minshew up here would be, I think he could do it. I think this could be the place. Minshew Mania, let's do it. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Mike White, I just hope he plays, because putting Streveler or Flacco out there would be scary. But that all said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week going into the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. I wish you all the best. And happy holidays to all of you. Thanks for watching episode 97. Take that and let's ride this positivity train right into Seattle and leave there with a big fat W. Wouldn't that be nice? See how that makes us feel. Have a great week, everybody. And as always, go Jets.